Are you live? Okay. You can see my ugly mug on the left.
Delete it. Are you now live?
Has done cast broken?
I've not broken anything. What have I done?
Is it working for you?
Yeah. What's working for me? What?
The multi-stream.
Oh, I've not clicked that. Hang on. Error. User channel doesn't appear to be live.
It is. It's fine. What we'll do is, worst case scenario, we just open it up to. We just put the link in just to your stream. So. YouTube.com/ranger users /ranger carrot.
There we go. It was correct all along. It was King Cody, not Ranger Carrot.
I knew that because I pulled it from Muppet. So it does work.
It's just
the one I
very confusing.
Which one have you put?
He's got 3 links. He's got the channel address, which is UC_NC blup.
Post
His
link,
name
dude.
is King Kodiak, and
Tarkin, post the link.
Yes,
Thank
Daddy.
you.
Sorry, Daddy.
There we go. Right, now we can see it. So it is live. We're ready to go. Perfect. So that link there, just tell them if you can update the link, that'd be awesome, please. The link that Amcast just posted will allow you to see both. Fabulous. Right. I'm going to put you both into the commentators' room. Good luck in the commentating. I hope you have fun with it. And we'll get underway with this emotional tribute.
Hello. How are you? Excellent. Are you doing any kind of intro, or are we just going straight into action? Okay, there's no intro there. No, that's fine. That's what I thought you might do. It blew up, didn't it? Yes, right. Come on. Is he going to switch to the Ferrari though? We've got 4 at the moment. Tortor, Lil John. Just wondering if anyone's going to take the wrong one. Yeltek, he's a good lad. He's taking the right car. As much as I want to see everyone in the Ferrari, I like to see some people doing the McLaren. That's why I suggested that. Because if it wasn't for Hunt, Lauda would, in all honesty, not be as well known, if you know what I mean. They put each other on the map. Right, I need to put your chat on that window just so I can keep an eye on it, just in case. Nice Discord. Yes.
See,
absolutely. I mean,
win, but now
if you've
I
not
don't
seen it
know,
yet, everyone
so-
should watch it. It's brilliant. Affiliate says the other person isn't being broadcasted, FYI. Did you mean me or did you mean Raggy?
No, sorry. No, Nick was meaning me. I just suddenly remembered I'd muted my mic in OBS. So I've been talking to you, Ancasso, and not the stream. So
okay, fair enough.
That's what all Flat just meant. Right. So then, good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. This is something very, very different. It is a tribute race being held by the lovely people of Rag Nation, plus a few invited friends for the tragic events that have led to this particular day. It's the sad death of Niki Lauda, 3 times champion. 75, 77 and 84 were his championship years. And of course, most people will remember him very fondly for his championship battles of 1976 with James Hunt. That's, of course, regarding the film that we have just mentioned. I am King Kodiak. I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. It is a 18-minute qualifying session and then a 25% race here in, of course, Austria. Joining me in the commentary box, very happy to say, is the one and only Jan Kassa.
Hello, how are you all doing today? Get this party started.
Indeed. We have a full lobby. It filled really quickly.
Just a little bit.
Now, I think everybody did switch to the 1976 Ferrari 312 T2, which Niki and Clay Regazzoni and briefly Carlos Reutemann used to take Ferrari to the championship of that year. And it was, of course, the year surrounding that, as previously mentioned, that Niki Lauda took the championship himself. Let's have a look at Donoso, who is out there in aforementioned Ferrari. Now this thing, wow, as displayed there coming through turn 3, insane amounts of wheel spin, and the clouds look very, very dark. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's going to be interesting if that claps it down with rain, because this thing is, well, it wasn't turbocharged, it was a straight 12 if I remember, if my history hasn't failed me, but it was a monster of a car. As you can see, the really tiny front wing aerodynamics were very much in its infancy. Well, I'll say in its infancy. It'd been developed mainly, started by Colin Chapman, but it was only really in the late 70s that everybody else cottoned on and really developed it. So these things go sideways a lot.
Yep. Well, I've been told it's going to be a wet start as well. It's going to make for some interesting racing. Considering we only have 2 tyre compounds, there's wet and dry. There's no inters, there's no hypersofts. It is wet versus dry, and that is going to create some lovely racing. And these cars sound beautiful, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely they do. That's a real classic screaming noise of these Ferraris as they do the business. Oh, that's Fabrizio getting out of the way. Now, of course, everybody being in the same car, we might have a few people using the McLaren, playing the role of James Hunt. In the
actually wet already.
I'm just thinking that it does look. And again, there you see the tail on Donoso. Look at the size of the rear wheels. You could move into them. You could actually live inside those things. They're absolutely massive. But then that was the idea. They wanted the tail basically just to kick out, and the front wheels were, well, basically there to vaguely think about steering and to keep the nose off the floor. That was the basic design premise. There's at least one McLaren. I've spotted there's someone in a McLaren out there, so someone has gone for the James Hunt look.
I think it was Raggy who was going for McLaren, wasn't he?
He was thinking about it. Where is Raggy? He's currently in 5th. Yep, he's gone for the...
car track there.
That is indeed the McLaren M29, I think. I've forgotten. I didn't actually look before.
I looked like Bernie and forgotten it.
Yeah. As much as I love my F1 history, I'm hopeless at remembering things. So, you're right there, Amkassa. It's raining already.
Yeah. Well, we've already got a lap on the dry tyres. As I say, there's only 2 compounds. Rizzo's done a 23.5. In all honesty, I'm not sure what times to expect because I've never seen these cars race before. Raggy's struggling with his rear end grip, and they just basically pin the throttle coming off the corners and hope for the best. By the looks of things, Sven goes much faster than Fabrizio. That's good lap, 22.6, and they're all going out on dry tyres. They've obviously not got to that stage where they want wet tyres.
No,
as you said.
The dry tyres will hang on to a point, but I mean, it does have to start getting to really bad because these cars were designed to slide. So the drivers, well, as Donoso doing the doing the business properly out of turn 4. These things were designed to slide, so they weren't really that worried about losing traction. They just needed to know when it was going to let go. The early turbo cars. Renault were actually the first to introduce them in 1979, 1980, that kind of time. Yeah, just watching Fabrizio get a lot of opposite. And that's someone killing a braking board right in front of him. I'm assuming he's going to come in after that. So quite a few people. Oh,
He's
that's
got to get in first, though.
yeah. That's the most amount of sideways I've ever seen in the pit lane entry.
Well, they're putting it on the edge.
Well, yeah, very much so. Now, they wouldn't have had pit lane speed limiters back then, so they would have just roared down the pit lane at I'm going to kill you now speed, and hoped everybody got out of the way. So let's have a look at who we've got. Sven Cerner, our current poleman, 22.653. Denoso, second, 23.4. Bika, 23.8. I believe I've commentated on quite a few of these names when I joined Raggy in the com box rather spontaneously one evening a few months ago. Boemels in 4th, 24.8. Tino in 5th, 25.5. These might be the best times we'll see if the rain is already coming down, unless it's stopped pretty quickly. Although...
that's Yeltsin going the wrong way there.
Oh, no, that's not going to help. I wonder if the rain is actually slowing down somewhat. So we'll have to see about that. BTEC Sim Racing currently in 6th, 126.385. As they very cautiously coming into the pit lane. Little John, I love the hashtag there. Fully agree with that. In 7th, 26.4. Then it is Real Gooby. No one's going for the wet tyres yet. Wow, that's a sliding McLaren. Oh, we've already lost Tortle Petrolhead. He will start no higher than 11th with a 28.0. Luca in 9th, 27.3. Then it is Overspeed, 27.9 in 10th. There's one of the McLarens. There was only about 3 of them, I think. For Raggy in 12th position, 28.5. Then it is Max, Rita the Rosso, nice. 28.8 for him in 13th, and Falsetti in 14th. Nearly introducing himself to the wall on the way down to turn 6. 14th, 133.82. Then it is Hazard in 15th, 135.8. Hodgson, I'm assuming that's pronounced.
Yep,
38.0. And Yeltek, seemingly he's really struggling with the dries with a 154.2. And then we have not had a time from Piloto. How do you say it? Piloto Paja? Paja. Piloto Paja. Okay, we'll go with that. Dolt, I guess that is, in 19th. And...
Default.
Oh, Default. Aha, gotcha.
Yes.
I'm not down with the kids anymore.
That's alright.
Oh dear.
That's not a good start.
Oh, Yeltek making his he's going down 5 positions when there's only 3 behind him, so he's going to be starting the race next week. And Meta at the bottom of the field. Now Meta's gone for the wets, and I'm not surprised considering how much spray he's kicking up, and he's really struggling on them. So you can't blame him for giving them a try.
Apologies there. Yeltek's just shunted. I think that was Raggy actually, of all people.
Oh dear. It was indeed.
Hit. He'll be happy with that, I suspect. Yeltek is actually struggling to keep it going straight on a straight as well, which is fun to see.
Well, yeah,
just lights out the rears and just they don't go anywhere.
Oh well, they're going. They are going somewhere. They're just not going in the direction he wants them to go, and that's into the
reverse front turn 1.
Oh, so he's had enough. He's had enough.
Yeah, I think I saw the wreckage of Tortor's car on the pit lane entry, so I suspect he chucks it in there, and I'm not surprised at that. Should we have a look at Meta actually?
Yeah.
He's out on his wet.
Let's see how he does then. Up the hill towards turn 1. Usually a very hot braking spot, which I imagine it will be really cautious through there. I mean, these wet tyres wouldn't have warmed up very well either, and he's given them a bit of a wiggle to try and get some heat into them, I dare say. So he's probably taking it a bit easier this time. Heading up the hill through the non-existent turn 2 into turn 3, down through the gears very, very cautiously. And yep, he's nearly overshot that one. I think he had a bit of lag there because he suddenly sort of stopped and got going again. And you can see even on the wets he's getting all kinds of squirrely. That's the wall. Okay, well, damage is clearly on. Oh, big moment of lag there for Meta. There's a braking board. There's another one.
Obviously doesn't like him.
No, he wants a souvenir.
Yeah. So I've just been informed that Boemels up in P4 is actually on a controller.
You brave man!
And to put this time like that, he's beating Tino on a controller.
In these things?
Yeah.
Wow. Respect.
Tino claimed to have a great setup as well. And so that's Fun to be in that car as Tino's going to come across the line.
Tino is sailing down the start-finish line there. So can he improve on the 25.5? I doubt it, quite frankly. But let's see. There's a few people coming out. There's Beaker that's come out right in front of him. Now, normally people would be trying to get out of the way, but Tino's struggling to catch up with Beaker at the moment. So Beaker looks like he's going to be starting in third. Most people coming out on the wets now, unsurprisingly, but I would dare say there's going to be... well, this is really only for the start of the... practicing the start of the race. It's only a 25% race, so by the time it's dried up, then, they probably wouldn't have come off the wets anyway. So that would be why most people would be coming out on the wets, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I'm just watching Tino. It's looking less like driving a car, more like he's tacking upwind at the moment. Just going side by side.
Oh my goodness! I bet he's grinning his head off. Look at that! That is something to behold. There's a lovely four-wheel drift coming through turn 6. And there he goes again.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Fair play to him for controlling it as well as he is, but not the quickest way of doing it. Is who's that's just gone past him? That was
Max.
It was Max, who's more at home in the wet conditions than Tino seems to be, and Tino looks like he's coming in.
Might have cooked the tyres already, just hanging the back end out for a little too long. Could just overheat them a bit too much.
Brakes!
Four-wheel drift into the pit lane.
How did you slow that down, Tino? That was amazing. As Piloto Paja is out there. I don't think anybody is out there on dries now. The only person that's got dries fitted is Default, but not out on track, and I don't blame him either. So yeah, I can't imagine these times are going to come down any.
Well, the people at the back might come down a bit.
True.
Sven's coming across the line. I think he's actually going to complete a wet lap with a 1:30. So he set a pace for that.
As you would expect, it's about 7 seconds difference between dries and wets, and Sven came out very, very early, so before any of the rain fell. So that does make sense. So, expect about a 7-second loss there.
Rizzo's struggling as well. He's going four-wheel drifting through turns, trying to four-wheel drift it. I mean, it looks like he's trying to do the Scandinavian flick as he goes through some of these corners, just hanging that back end out a little bit.
You can actually see on the overlay just how delicately he's threading the throttle and still having to go almost full lock the opposite direction. So you got to have and that's the thing about this era of racing that Niki Lauda was very famous for. You really had to have your Weetabix in the morning. You had to have stones of solid rock to drive these things. And you got to think that people dying every year in this kind of era. It wasn't the worst era for it. The 50s were people were dying almost every race back then, but so it was an exceedingly dangerous sport. Motor racing is by its very nature, of course, but it's come a very long way courtesy of, and again, the big famous accident that Niki had at Nordschleife, a big example of where safety was really being taken seriously, or more so after that point. Jackie Stewart being a big proponent of that several years earlier. But Niki was one of these people that knew he had a 20% chance to never step back out of the car, and that was the only major. It wasn't the only accident he had, but it was the only major one, life-threatening one he ever was exposed to. And you got to think, 5 to 6 weeks later, he was back in the car at Monza again. Don't care who you are, that commands respect.
Absolutely. I mean, he even finished P4 as well, which is a great result. I mean, most people are happy with the P4 anyway, but to do it with face full of bandages, and I believe after the race, when he tried to take his helmet off, he couldn't actually take the bandages off. They were that soaked in blood. He literally did a plaster type maneuver, just ripped it off all in one go.
Pretty much.
And that's how it was. I mean, you see the film Rush. Obviously, I'm not sure how 100% accurate that is. He was in the hospital trying to get his helmet on because he wanted to know if he could get back into that car. And fortunately for him, he was able to, and didn't do too bad thereafter either, did he?
The only thing about that race at Monza is no one gave a rat's ass about the podium 3. No one gave a monkeys about them. Everybody was, Forza Ferrari, Forza Niki. and quite rightly so. And also bearing in mind that they put Carlos Reutemann, the Argentinian hero, to sit in for Lauda. They were looking to replace Lauda early with Reutemann, and then I think the following test session, Lauda was still quicker than Regazzoni, who had never left the car.
Absolutely. I mean, Lauda was just a beast. I mean, you can imagine in this day and age, it's very hard to compare now drivers with then drivers, but he would still be probably near the front in an uncompetitive car nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like Fernando Alonso nowadays, I'd say. Be a great driver, uncompetitive car, but still putting in great laps here, there and everywhere. He might not be getting race wins, but he'll definitely be running for podiums. Fernando wasn't, but...
Niki Lauda is the sort of person that took nothing from no one. You know, he stared death in the face and told him where to shove it, basically. He was one of the few people that told Enzo Ferrari his cars were terrible. That event in the film... The events in the film are Hollywoodized. Wow, as Max was very sideways, and Fabrizio just slammed into the back of Max. So I thought Fabrizio was stuck there. Those events are Hollywood dramatized. As Tino's going backwards. But they're broadly true. I think that the only kind of really exaggerated one was where James Hunt decked a journalist after the Nürburgring. That one was again dramatized. He had an argument with a journalist. Didn't actually end up putting his dictaphone in his mouth and smashing his teeth in it. That he didn't do. And they did kind of overemphasize the rivalry between them. Hunt and Lauda had massive respect for one another. Shared a flat, apparently, in London at one stage. So they weren't arch enemies. Oh, Tino, that very nearly worked. He very nearly went the entire way around turn 6 there, sideways. That was again, lovely to see. But, you know, we will be very gushy about Niki Lauda, and I make no apologies for it whatsoever. Now, I might be a McLaren fanboy, have been since I could walk, but I will always respect the drivers that, you know, the gladiators of the sport, those that really, you know, stood out very, very well. As Buemels is back out there and drives, I've just noticed.
There's a lot of dries. It's actually stopped raining.
Yeah, but it's dried up quickly.
Well, Goopy is going to be one of the first, I think, to go for flying on the dries. Will he be actually flying into the first corner, or will he be giving penalties like Fabrizio's just got himself? That could make some fun for the races. He's going to start a little bit lower. Yeah,
especially if it's a wet start.
We'll see how it goes.
Debris of some description on the outside there. It's overspeed as Buemels has just come past. I was wondering if someone in my chat was going to highlight this. Niki Lauda retiring in Japan 76 giving up the championship because he thought it was too unsafe. Absolutely right. He had the balls to retire a perfectly working Ferrari. No one stood up to Enzo Ferrari. Niki was just like, nah, no chance. He could barely see because of the injuries he was still carrying, and it was absolutely hooning it down. And that day in 76 in Japan, he just went, nope, I'm doing one lap and I'm parking it, and it's exactly what he did. Now, you can argue whether, if Niki hadn't have had his accident, would James Hunt have ever won the championship? No one will ever answer that. It doesn't matter how you look at it. No matter whether you're a McLaren or Ferrari, Hunt or Lauda, doesn't matter. You'll never come up with an answer to that. I personally think, as much as I'm a McLaren fan, I think Lauda would have taken the championship had he not have lost the points when he was out for a couple of rounds. I mean, there was only 1 or half a point in it at the end. But it just goes to show that the strength of character Niki had was like, he always said, I accept 20% danger of not getting out of this car. I will not accept any more. That statement that again is in the film is absolutely the mantra he lived by, and he knew it was going to be worse. He knew it was worse at Nürburgring, and he obviously, we know the events that happened there, but he knew it was catastrophic or potentially catastrophic at Japan. So he just went, nope, not doing it, and just parked the car and walked off, and his engineers were like, what's wrong with the car? And he said, nothing, and he just stormed out the garage. How many people would have ever done that to Enzo Ferrari? Very, very few. So again, more respect to Niki Lauda for that.
Absolutely. I mean, if that race was nowadays, that race would never take place.
No.
And that's how things have changed over the years.
Mm.
And yeah, it just shows that he does what he wants when he wants, and he's right most of the time with that sort of stuff. Qualifying has come to an end finally.
Tino's just killing his car.
Right. Is he? Oh, okay, that's good. Is he doing donuts? Is he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the only one. He's the only one that hasn't actually retired from the session. So he's just doing modern art out there at I don't know where he is. Turn 3. Oh no, that's turn between turn 9 and 10. Yeah. So you're defacing the Austrian flag.
Oh.
But
I don't know if you saw it. Fassetti jumped up to P3 there.
Yeah, he did. Yes, on the drying train. Yeah, 23.786. Who will be promoted with that penalty from Fabrizio. Oh, now Tino's had no choice but to stop doing donuts and slammed into that and into the wall. Well, let's see how this goes then. This is going to be
fun.
Especially if it's a wet start, it's going to be quite interesting. So there it is. Sven Zerner starting from the pole. Fabrizio 2+5 is where he's going to be after an incident where he clunked into someone. Then Falsetti, Bika, Boemels, Luca, Tino, Pelotto Paja, Default. Where are we? BTEC Sim Racer, then Lil Jon. In the first of the McLarens, Real Gooby. I'm not used to these names. I will get them wrong. I might get them right before the check of flag falls. Overspeed, Total Petrolhead, Raggy, Max, Meta, Hazard, Hodgson, and Yeltek.
Wow, it's going to be an interesting start, isn't it? I mean, turn 1 here isn't exactly easy. Even in modern cars, you still see a lot of issues going into this turn 1. And then turn 3 at the top of the hill. And in the dry. So this could be fun. How do you reckon they're going to survive the first quarter?
Well, yeah, survive is the absolute right word for it. I would imagine we're going to see a few people spinning out on the formation lap, let alone anything else.
They turned formation on. I'm not sure if he had.
Oh, well, we'll see. I'm just so used to it being on. So we'll see then. It might be an idea for them to do a formation lap, just to kind of realise how little traction they've got, but we'll see.
Is anyone going to start on the dry tyres? That could be fun to see as well.
Yeah. Someone may well just go, why not? Come on.
Depends when it dries up in the race. Let's have a look, shall we?
Okay, so we do have a formation lap going on. Everyone's on the wets. That's not a surprise.
Right then. It's just going to be an interesting...
Whoa, no, so! Oh, is that for? Oh, it is Falsetti. On my screen, Donoso's still listed as second, but he's actually further down the road. Oops, and there's our first casualty. I thought that was going to happen. Oh, Tortor is going to have such a horrible time. Oh, Donoso, keep it on the road at least. We don't need it. These would be the most expensive lawnmowers in the world.
So far, only one's retirement, which is good to see. And there's not many brake boards left, though.
Ooh, was that another one? Oh, no, that was... who was that? Was very, very close. I think it was Hazard, very nearly into the gearbox of Meta there. Hodgson, very close to Hazard as well. Well.
This is going to be some fun.
18 laps of a currently wet but potentially drying. Oh, Spencer has spun. He's now right the way down there in 8th. So, it's gone well for Pols. He just about... That's the thing, is you've got massive understeer because the front wheels are so small. You just wiggle your big toe slightly and then tail's like, woohoo! Here we go. Like so, and everyone's going to be doing it as well. Is that who's the king of the drift?
Well, we'll find out shortly, won't we? Sven is lacing up those rears. I can't see much from Sven's point of view. All I can see is a bunch of names floating in the sky.
Oh, there we go. There's
a few more.
Raggy, Max, Hazard, and Yeltek all have decided to have a fight at the back of the field. So here we go. Here we go. They are taking up their positions for what is going to be quite a momentous occasion, I dare say. I mean, for the event that we're doing, of course, but also just these cars in the wet. That it doesn't matter where you are, just those two conditions alone is going to be fabulous to watch. Well, here we go then. They wouldn't have had 5 lights back then, but we do for here. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Who's had their Weetabix this morning? Who is going to control those ever squirming Ferraris and the handful of McLarens? We've got lots of position changing going on. Sven and Falsetti have made it through the first turn. Decent run there from Beaker as well. On the outside of turn 3, lots of cars pointing in directions they really shouldn't do to try and go straight, but that is again the nature of what we've got. Looks like everybody has made it through so far. Has there been any catastrophes you've noted, Dan?
Not yet. Raggy's dropped to the very back, but that's Raggy in a nutshell. A bit of punching going up on the turn 2.
Oh dear.
Ubi and Pilo Panja coming close together as everyone goes sideways down there towards turn 4.
Boemels has gone off. Oh, what a shame. Ragubi's gone and Boemels has gone. Boemels hit the wall and that's his front left gone.
Safety car.
So it is. Oh dear.
There's a wheel actually come off its tethers as well at the back.
Falsetti's in the lead now. Oh no, that's because Sven had fallen behind him during the safety car period. Wow. Didn't expect a safety car actually.
There was a big crash. I don't know if you quite caught it. Gooby going off the line a little bit. I think he got collected by someone. I'm not entirely sure. Then losing his front wheel because of that incident. I think he then drifted back across the track out of control into Rommels.
Big.
I don't know. Go on.
Big shame there. So 2 gone before the first lap is completed. We won't get halfway through the race at that rate. So, are you talking about the engine noise? The Ferrari had that flat 12 that screamed its way around the track. The McLarens used the then aging Cosworth DFE V8. Oops, as Pilotto's got himself for ignoring yellow flags behind the safety car. How on earth have you managed that? Quite a few people in the pits. A couple of people going to tries already.
Yeah. Ooh. I was about to mention that. That's brave. I mean, I know you don't have much grip anyway, but to go from no grip to even less grip.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, a few people have had their Weetabix this morning. That is very brave indeed. As Pilotto's come back out on the wet, so for Falsetti, who was up in second, and look how sideways Yeltek is. He still hasn't got the car straight before he gets to the next turn 4.
Ooh.
Oops.
Bit of bunch in there, turn 3.
Oh dear.
I think Hazard had a little off.
Oh dear. And Tortor's plunked in one by the judging by that penalty. Oh, right.
I believe so.
Right behind Hodgson and Raggy, getting side by side. The safety car is still out there, so they're not supposed to be overtaking one another. There is the safety car. It has happened in the past where drivers have actually asked the safety car to slow down in the wet conditions because they can't keep up with it, which could be an interesting factor for these guys. But we'll see.
Wow.
I mean, they wouldn't have had a safety car back in the late 70s. That was introduced, I think, in the mid 80s somewhere.
Whoa. That's an interesting fact. That's something I didn't know, and I normally get told I have a good knowledge. So
I do like my F1 history. I don't get everything right, but I am a bit of a more of a statistics man than anything else. I don't remember the rule changes and what have you, but and daft things like that. But certain things I do remember. Vast majority of things I forget. And Max has gone onto the dries, so he's another one thinking that the rain has eased off enough. We get on board with Max when we can, and Pilotto's coming again, so maybe he thinks that it's still raining. I think
it's still raining. It's interesting calls going on. It's just still raining. I think it's on the way to being dry. Could be wrong, but it's definitely looking like it's trying to dry off a bit.
Well, Pilotto's gone onto the dries now, and behind the safety car is the time to do it. If the track dries up enough, then that back 5? Yeah, 14 to 18, so back 5 could well just charge through the field whilst everybody streams into the pits. Everyone trying to get into the Ferrari stalls will be interesting.
I'm going to assume there's a little more broken up than that. But
a little, yes. Aha!
Here we go then.
The question, I mean, there's a lot of spray still coming off the tyres. I think you're nutters if you've gone onto the tyres already. Sven then trying to back up the field. Well, he's either trying to or he's doing so because he's struggling to keep the car under control.
I was going to say, yes. It's just you can't keep control of the rear end, just sliding about. And makes it look like he's warming up his tyres.
Yeah, I was watching his throttle input there. It was bouncing around quite merrily. But now trying to get back underway. No indication of coming in. Whoa! That was Luca flying off the road because it's quite hard to identify everyone driving the same car. Yeah, Fabrizio back up into third with his penalty that has gone here, that went against him. Lots of changes to the fastest lap, but interestingly, Falsetti. Let's jump on board with Falsetti, see how he's doing. Now he's got Raggy and Hodgson right ahead of him. Yeltek on the dries, setting the dry tyre, and look at that! Meta has lost the traction there. What bit of wheel banging going on between Falsetti and Hodgson? And Falsetti's got a great drive. Really, really good drive. He's nailed Hodgson and Raggy on that straight heading towards turn 3. So the dry runners may well have actually timed that perfectly well if he's able to get a drive like that.
That was an impressive restart for Falsetti. And he's going to set his sights on getting back out to the top. And I mean, it doesn't look like it's dry with a time, does it? I mean, Raggy's dropping places to all the dries once again. But it's still raining. Obviously, it's not raining heavy enough to switch. It's a bit like qualifying then. It's just drizzling, but it's dry weather drizzle. Doesn't make any sense. Well, I had a race the other day, and it was cloudy, was the forecast, but most of the race was wet. But you were on dries the entire race. It's the first time I've actually seen that. It's taken me a year to find one of those races.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's always been said. It was true back then. It's very much true now because the tyres are generally bigger. The best way to clear water off a Formula 1 track is send a lot of Formula 1 cars over them.
Yeah, and Falsetti's going to have overspeed here. See, overspeed's going in the pits.
Lots of people going in the pits. As Svensson gets the new fastest lap on the board. Falsetti is
about to beat that.
Yeah, Falsetti was very wide on the final turn. No, he was a couple of seconds off actually. But lots of people getting off of the wets now, and I think now is probably a better time to do it! Falsetti! Good catch! That was very well had. He's got the fault right with him. But that's put Falsetti from 14th right the way up to 4th now. And you can guarantee that once they start getting the traction under control... Move default on the inside of 3. And Gooby's left the session. Lots of wheel spin going on. Just hear the rivulet.
Didn't make it at the end.
No, that was again well defended from Falsetti, getting the traction just when he needs it, and they're very delicate around the corners. Although that was a lovely drive from Default, actually from both of them. But Default had got a good amount of traction. Bit of contact between the two. Well caught again from Falsetti. Give that man a cricket bat. He needs to play cricket if he can catch like that. And they're gaining very quickly on BTEC Sim Racer. Very quickly indeed.
There's no rain anymore either.
Nope. So expect the top 3 to come in. So that's going to give the lead over to these two. And then there's a 7-second gap back to Beaker. And Falsetti's just left BTEC Sim Racer for dead. Absolutely danced around him. And Default taking his time to go around. And yep, Sven and Fabrizio in. There goes BTEC Racing. They're the last 3 to come in to get rid of those wet tyres. And Falsetti is going to be your race leader.
Yeah, we've got a good race on our hands. If these guys can catch up to Falsetti, they're going to be coming out. So Sven is 3rd at the moment. He's going to come out 3rd. He's probably going to drop another. He's going to drop another couple of places before he gets there. He's going to come out right in the middle of the battle. Actually, who's that? He's going to come out right in front of Tino and behind Max. That's going to create some lovely. Is Tino going to try and make an overtake into turn 3? I don't know if slightly warmer tyres exist on these cars, but Tino's just hovering off the back and he's not going to make a move.
To a lesser extent, tyre blankets didn't really exist. It was the likes of Brabham and such like that invented sort of tyre ovens, which was basically a bin with a fire at the bottom of it. In broad terms. I mean, what they actually found is they boiled the bottom ones and did nothing to the top ones. So that was what they ended up doing. But whoa, nice cut back there from Max coming out of turn 4. That was nicely done. Whoa! Sven Cerner! He's wanting to get on with it. He's finding where the grip now is. He's got Tino right on his case and diving on the inside. Oh, Tino, goodness me. Surprise, I'm here. And through then into 5th. for the Williams Esports Racer. It's got Sven right on his case, though. Ooh, Tino defended, and Sven went on the inside of the defence. And off they go. That's not a surprise. It's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, round went Tino. We didn't quite see they were off camera, or off camera for me, when that happened. So I don't know whether he was pushed or whether he dropped it. But he's going again in 10th.
Tino run a little bit wide in the final corner. Actually, they both run very wide between 9 and 10. Tino ran even wide on the exit at 10, and Sven was on the racing line. Tino tried to come back to the racing line, or come back to the racing track, and well, one was going one way, one was going the other way, and they came together. It's a racing incident.
Fair enough.
Little John and Yeltek.
Indeed, two McLarens having a battle. So as they come through turn 3,
go through the middle. Go through the middle, Tino. There's a gap there. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, part of the waves. Oh. No, he didn't fancy that. Is he going to be able to nail the pair of them? He's going to go for the outside around turn 4. We've seen this many a time. Whoa, goodness me, Tino. No, he's fended off back down into 10th position. Both the McLarens back up ahead of him. And there is BTEC Sim Racer right behind Tino. So he's going to look to try... Oh, you could see the tail on Little John's car getting a bit lively. Yeltek got a very big snap of oversteer. A bit of a bump from Tino on Little John there. But on they go still. Oh, Tino, that's very wide, but manages to keep it on the road. And here comes BTEC Sim Racer as well, wanting to get involved. I want to have a look at the... Oh, that's someone off. That is...
Yes, BTEC.
Oh, and he killed the braking ball when he was at it. Tino and Little John sailed side by side. And Tino's had trouble on that last turn again. As he's tangled with Little John. So Tino seems to be stuck in 10th at the moment. He's doing everything he can to get out of it. And he passes one and gets passed by another.
Yeah, well, let's see if he can get the drive off here. Obviously, no DRS on these cars is not surprising, is it? And Max and Sven are having a little tussle up ahead as well. Coming off turn 3, Sven's still behind Max.
And Fabrizio and Luca having a fight along with Tino and Little John. So everyone is fighting. I say everyone. So several pairs of cars. Oh, big lockup from... was that BTEC that we're looking at there? So Tino has gone ahead of them. Fabrizio and Lucas side by side coming through that turn 4. Fabrizio manages to keep it on the road. Sven has gotten ahead of Max coming through 5. Coming through 6 rather. Coming back down the hill.
Oh, Luca's going offline.
Oh dear, that's gone horribly wrong for Luca. That's and he's had enough of that. Yeah. Would drop him a long way down. Oh, and that parked his car right in a very awkward spot. Everyone has managed to get around him. Tino's still having that battle with Little John. He's just managed to get ahead of him this time. Oh, no, beg your pardon. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
He's now trying to...
Yeah. Majorly on the back of Yeltek there.
He is indeed. A lot of it sideways.
This is good fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, Yeltek ran wide, just lost in all that momentum. Tino's gone past. Little John looks like he's going to complete the move. And there we go. As Little John and Yeltek continue their battle the other way around. Can they hang on to the back of Tino, or is Tino going to find where the traction is? Although Yeltek's had a good run out of turn 1. Is he going to be
anyone's guess it's going to be the first one out of this corner. He's going to get down the inside of both of them.
Whoa! Big move from Yeltek. Can he slow it down?
Lovely.
Nice. 3 wide now on that back straight heading down towards turn 4. Someone's going to blink first. The Ferrari of Tino does manage to get the drive when he needs it. And they resume the order they were before the turn. Yeltek's not giving up on that one. Jumps to the outside of turn 4 and has to get out of it because Tino's gone very slow. And Tino's now behind them all again. So that is fantastic racing from these 3.
Tino, interesting in the Ferrari compared to the other 2 are McLarens as well. I don't know how much difference there is actually between these cars as Yeltek gets sideways on the corner. Tino has to back out of it.
Power delivery and weight primarily. The McLaren was much lighter. The Ferrari was more powerful. It's V12 versus V8. Very, very, very loose turns. Technologically wise, not a lot. They had similar suspensions. They're just the rear wings were in a slightly different place. Rear and front wings were in a bit of a different place. That was all. It was more down to engine and driver as Tino flies past Yeltek. The sun's now out, so that should get rid of any remaining moisture as we're already on lap 10. Oh, there's the penalty board. No race is ever complete with that one. As Yeltek has opened the scoring there. And Tino looking to put some pressure on Little John. Outside of the McLaren. This track would have much more suited the bigger engine as opposed to the lighter car by and large. But, of course, with the wet weather we've had, that means absolutely squat.
Yeah. Well, Tino is now in front of Little John, and Little John might be taken by Yeltek. He's going to try and go around the outside. Actually, Tino is still under pressure. Ooh, little wobble there from Yeltek.
Turning left into a right-hander is never normally a good idea, but it's what he had to do. Yeah, brilliantly held, as you say. And there is BTEC Sim Racer that's looking to join the party as well. So, and they've also caught, that is Max that they've homed in on.
Ooh, Little John, little behind. Yeltek. It's so easy to get triggered, isn't it, in this watch this race? Oh, no, they're always sliding.
And yep, he phased through BTEC Sim Racer on my screen, and there's magically reappeared behind him. So a bit of a technical problem there for the second McLaren. The third one was Raggy. He's down in 15th, very much in no man's land, so not an immediate threat of anybody. Tino has gone straight on Max's case, but Yeltek still has a lot of company there in 8th.
Yeah, BTEC is all over the back of him and should get the drive off this corner. He's going to go past on the straight, but we're seeing a lot of interesting moves coming into the corners. Is he going to hold it into the corner? Hopefully getting a penalty. Yeltek going down the inside once again. He's made it through. Oh no, he hasn't. He's tangled.
Whoa!
Evasive action. And DRS board has taken the brunt of the force off that one.
Oh no, how will they know where to trigger their DRS?
I know. Oh, Yeltek diving again.
That's his little spot there, isn't it? He's a big fan of that move. But that's pretty much actually accentuates what the difference was between the Ferrari and the McLaren of the era. The McLaren was lighter, so it could do the late braking dive into an apex, where the Ferrari could blast past most people if it didn't blow up. Again, reliability was not very good back in this era. So, but then they didn't have things like power unit component restrictions and things like that. As Sven Zerner from 4th gets his name on the penalty board, but won't affect him as he's 7.5 seconds ahead of Donoso, as that is Little John going very wide on that last turn. And right ahead we can see Tino and Max side by side as well, coming up to that turn 1. Max trying that inside manoeuvre. Whoa!
Might have it. He's got the position.
He does.
But is he going to last the way up the hill?
Yeah, nicely driven by Max. He's nailed to that inside line, which looks to be drier than the outside. So Tino having to go on the outside. Bit of a tap between the two Ferraris. That brings that train that's been behind them this whole time back into play. So this train is now about half a dozen cars long, 3 wide yet again, coming down towards turn 4. Oh, we've lost Flyer. It's not.
There's a Flyer. That's Yeltek.
Oh dear. Not what I meant, but very, very true. Also, Yeltek's tyres are very old.
Yeah, they're all getting a bit old. I think Tino let Max through after the coming together for turn 3. And unfortunately, Little John and Yeltek were all part of that. We've got a nice little train actually being formed.
Yeah.
Because Hazard and Padjo have joined in the battle. There are other people in this race, guys, don't worry. We're focused on this one.
Well, everyone else is actually fairly well spaced apart from the cars around them. This is the closest battle we've got. It just happens to be very long. Oh my goodness. If you were a cameraman down there, you would kind of... Whoa, that's the McLarens together. Oh no, that's Little John and Yeltek have come together and introduced their cars to the wall. That's not gone well for them. As BTEC and Max side by side. Tino's in there as well. Oh my goodness, it really is anyone's guess. Oh, Little John on the penalty board as well, just to make his day even worse. But the Ferraris have gone past the McLarens, and there goes Max on the inside of Tino. Can he slow that one down? No, Tino just does the nice undercut to regain that spot.
Oh, that's BTEC, not Max. Then that's Max, though.
Oh, I'm getting... yeah, that's Max round. As Tortle gets on the penalty board. Oh, wow, that was close. The McLaren's nearly slamming into the back of Max's Ferrari there. That's the only downside of doing these single car races is it's really easy to muddle up who you're talking about.
Just a bit. Oh, McLaren's again a bit bumpy with Tino. I think Tino's not got any damage. He might have just cooked his tyres a little bit though, that slide.
I would imagine so. Fabrizio's in. So another set of tyres for him as Tino trying to thread his way through these wounded McLarens. Yeltec very sideways on the exit of turn 8. Are the McLarens going to come in?
So no, they're in the wrong place to come in because
Tino's in the way. Yeah. Hazard and BTEC are having a battle as well. That's for 6th. Sven is actually on the back of Beaker. That's Fabrizio. Sven is on the back of Beaker for a potential podium here. As BTEC is on the penalty board again. I've completely lost track of what the penalty score is. Tino and Little John side by side. The McLaren not winning on that one, missing a huge chunk of front wing. But back then, I remember James Hunt saying when he'd actually retired from racing in 1979, I think, his first year of commentary, he said the front wings were not that important. You don't
I think they're proving, aren't they? Here?
You don't find many drivers saying that these days.
No.
But then back then they could actually change the rear wing in the middle of a race. Oh, goodness me, Little John! I think you missed your braking point. And you just somehow wrestled your car around and made it work.
Max having a little off. Yeltec nearly in the firing line there. There's action all over the place here. And Sven is, as you said earlier, on the rear end of Beaker. That could be some interesting action later. And now Yeltec flying. Those little sausages, it's just thrown him up in the air a little bit. Is Sven going to go past Beaker?
Sven on Beaker. Let's have a look. Cuts back underneath him. Oh, what a drive for Sven on the exit of turn 3. Flies past up into 3rd position. And Tino's round. Tino's had a problem. He's suddenly down to 12th. Oh, yep, that's we don't commonly find people out there. He's had a big spin and oh dear.
That's a harsh penalty for going that slow.
Well, yeah, that one's a little bit unfair. And is he going to call it?
Waiting for him.
He's slow. He's not driving. Is Tino? So, now he is. He's now remembered where the gas pedal is.
That generally helps. Yeltec's not sure Yeltec knows where his wheels are at times.
There's Raggy and Overspeed catching up to Tino.
Or Tino. That's the plan.
Oh, well, it could be just having someone to race with. Well, yeah, why not?
They've had some close battles in the past. Obviously, Tino was on different compounds, slightly harder compound, just to create a bit more interesting. But they did have some good battles last week, I think it was. And just wonder if they're going to have some more battles here. Tino, that's not the racing line, Tino.
Nope.
The track's over here, dude.
He's off to the bar.
Yeah,
he's had enough already. I'm not. Generally, Niki would have finished a race before doing that. James Hunt would have been one to, you know what, I'm going to just park it and go off and see what female I can go and chat up. That would be very much James Hunt style, which was the polar opposite of the cool, calm, collected Niki Lauda. Hazard's had a problem. He's suddenly lost 2 positions. He seems to be alright though, so maybe he's just had an off at that last turn as Palotto, Paja and BTEC are ahead of him. Sven's is catching up to default now, so he's wanting to get back up towards the front.
Well, it's crucial. He's got 4 lap fresher tyres. We're going to start lap 17 of 18 in a moment. Falsetti's not that far up the field. Can Sven use slightly fresher tyres and close up like there's no tomorrow on Falsetti?
Whoa, 4-way battle going on here with Yeltec, Raggy, Tino and Overspeed.
Who's going to come off worse?
And Hodson is right behind him as well. Yeah. Tino going for an inside manoeuvre, coming up the hill to turn 3. Can he slow it down? And clunks into uses the extra braking from the McLaren to slow his Ferrari down. And that was... Yep.
Also throwing love and war.
And that's another braking board. Yep, more souvenirs for Tino there.
Raggy nearly goes to the back of Yeltec. Big lock up then.
Sven and Default are having a fight. There they are, turn 3. There is Falsetti just down the road. Bit of dust being kicked up there by Sven. Sven is pressing on. Whoa, nearly pushing his fellow Ferrari brethren down the road. A big old heavy lump to push down the road. Another penalty for BTEC. He wants to collect the whole set. 4 seconds separates Sven and Falsetti. Say again?
You're going to lose a lot of places.
Oh dear.
He's got.
Discord may be having a bit of a... Oh, yeah. Discord's having a horrible wobble, so hopefully that resolves itself. Hopefully Am can catch up with me. Oh, my goodness me. There's this big battle down here. Tino, Yeltek, Overspeed, Raggy, Hodgson, all in this fight. Tortles is technically there. He's just... Oh, no, he's not. It's a completely different position where he is. And Falsetti has started the final lap. 18 of 18. Can he get that? Can he hold on to the lead where he's been all race long with a great strategy? Tino flies off the road with lots of people around him. Who can we jump on board with this? The view from Hodgson. He's got Overspeed already behind. 3 wide yet again coming down towards turn 4. Tino, Yeltek, everyone side by side. Raggy on the inside. This can't possibly go wrong. Everyone's fine. Oh, that is... very, very close. Still 3 wide. What a fantastic race these guys are having.
It looks like they're playing a Newton's Cradle. One hits from one side, the other hits from one side, and takes out the someone on the other side. It is basically a Newton's Cradle of F1 cars, isn't it? One guy hits one end, and the son on the other side goes flying.
Oh, Yeltek has hit the grass, and he's doing his own Newton's Cradle, not hitting anybody. There's Overspeed and Raggy. Who is?
Torsor's doing donuts.
Oh, well, he's a lap down. He's just having a bit of fun. Oh, whoops, that was Overspeed, I think, flying off the road. Oh, no, that was Raggy flying off the road, beg your pardon. So these guys are just starting their final lap. There's Tino, then under pressure from Overspeed. Where's Falsetti?
About to cross the line.
And there he is, your winner of this. Another 10-second penalty for Fabrizio there. So Falsetti winning this exhibition race in honour of the now late...
Fabrizio's doing donuts. Along with Max.
Oh, yeah, there he is. That's really disorientating to watch on board.
I think they're all doing donuts.
Oh, well, fair enough. Why not? So Sven took second, Beaker third, default 4. There's BTEC with a whole host of penalties on him. I think Parja has... He's got to finish yet. That's very true. 34 seconds in the end. Oh, there is a ghosty McLaren. I think that was Tortor. And the track limits make no odds by this point. And Parja remains in 6th. Where's Hazard? Oh, Hazard's out there decorating the outside line. Why not? Why the devil not? So, wow, what a race. Well, they're basically just going to carry on until they run out of fuel or tyres. Oh, Discord's gone nuts again. Well, what an incredible race this has been in honour of the now late but always great Niki Lauda, the 3-times champion. May you race in paradise, good sir, as us here in the sim racing world give you the best send-off we possibly can. Oh, you're back again?
Yeah, you went robotic for me. I don't know if I was robotic for you.
Yeah, Discord seems to be having a bit of a mare on random occasions.
Yeah, it's been doing that recently a lot. Might just be me, but...
no, it wasn't just you. He's been doing it for us all race long. Oh, now Donoso's joining in with the donuts. How apt. Is there anyone not doing donuts, actually?
Yeah, the guys that are finished.
Oh, no, Hez's now joined in. Donoso, Raggy...
Oh, Fabrizio's disqualified.
We're receiving multiple penalties. And Raggy's run out of fuel. But he's going to come across the line in 10th, so you would pick up a championship point for that. By today's standards. Look at the amount of people just having a good old celebration there. Why not?
Yeltek's crossed. They should be the next one to cross the line, though. That's the big question.
Yeah.
Hazard's going for it. He's got it.
I was just thinking, is anyone going to actually try and block the line as Yeltek now goes backwards? He's now going the wrong way down the track. I was wondering if anyone was going to try and block the track. No, you may not finish, but the cars would just ghost if they did that.
Yeah. It's a shame they turn to ghosty on, but I think it's needed sometimes. I've had some league races where it's not on, and it's great fun. Take it to Baku and turn ghosting off. That's where it's really fun.
Enjoy.
Anywhere you crash, you mess up someone else's race.
Oh, well. As the timer then counts down, everyone's either run out of fuel or has already crossed the line. And there it is. That will bring an end to this exhibition race. There's us from the sim racing world giving a send-off to the now late but always great Niki Lauda as our podium 3 celebrates away. I think our podium 3 probably had the least amount of fun in this race. I think all the scrapping that was going on was towards the back.
I think Falsetti had a lot of fun because he made that early call, didn't he, to change it to the drive?
True.
And
that
he
is
just
true.
passed about 5-6 drives on one straight.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. But what better way to finish off? Niki Lauda, born in Vienna, Austria, and passed away in the same. And of course, the race therefore had to be held here at what was then called the Österreich Ring, is of course now called the Red Bull Ring. There's the for those interested, there is how the race standings finished, and it started to rain again. But what an amazing race that was! Thank you very much, Amcasa, for joining me in the Culture Box. It's been a great pleasure.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Race in paradise, Mr. Lauda. Race in paradise. And for the rest of the sim racing world, thank you very much, and good night.
Ta.